And I will welcome everyone. My name is Sally Lipsky. Of course, it's right there on the screen, isn't it? From Plant-Based Pittsburgh. And tonight we are going to have fun. I'm crossing my fingers as I say that, okay? And we're going to look at let me start the slideshow. Make sure I never. Okay, I'm going to ask you, do you see one slide or two slides?
I see one main and four on the side.
Same
That's
here.
what I want. I can never tell which this. Okay. How about that one? Is that better?
That's
yeah.
That's just one.
Yeah.
Just one. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, you started.
I'm never sure which presenter comes up. Okay. So I'm going to start with guidelines, and I let you know you don't have to write all this down because I'm going to send a PDF with all these 6 guidelines to you tomorrow so that you can have it for your use. But the first one is when we're looking at the labels, we're going to look at the size of the servings and the servings in container, because we know sometimes we're shocked if we read, especially ice cream, dairy, non-dairy products, frozen product. Sometimes it can be a very small serving. We're going to look at fat calories, trying to keep less than 1/5 of the total calories coming from fat. Since we plant-based eating, whole food plant-based is a low-fat diet. We're going to look at sodium, trying to balance our sodium. So it's no more, it's the same ratio as calories. Fiber, of course, we want that adequate fiber. Sugars, in particular, how many added sugars and where the amount of added sugars. And then the last one is just looking for things to avoid. So having said this, I'm not expecting everything that you buy in a package. Certainly everything I buy in a package doesn't follow these guidelines. So everyone has to make a decision as to what's important to you. For example, I don't buy a lot high fiber things, a lot of fiber, because it just doesn't agree with me. So I'll go with the lower fiber purposely, or sodium, whatever. So there is the element of convenience and what's available to you when we're looking at packaged foods. But this is just give you, as I said, some guidelines. So let's start with a box of cereal. This is Special K. It is, as you can see, if you look at the label has a lot of information on it. And I am saying, when you're looking at don't be distracted. Everything I've X'd out with the red X, forget about it, okay? It's really all that recommended daily allowance of, that isn't your concern because you're eating a whole food plant-based diet. You're getting nutrients. So just look at the, whoops. I was going to say it, then I can't, there. Just look at the nutrition facts of the labeling like that. So we're looking at, and I'll go through a few of these, and then you're going to try some on your own. So if we have Special K, and this is vanilla and almond cereal, we can see that it's a 1 cup is a serving size, and it's 150 calories. We want our fat calories to be less than 20% per serving. Sometimes labels are purposely confusing. In fact, when I first learned about this from Jeff Novick, who really is this, most of this is based on. He started his presentation with, don't ever, ever, ever believe the front of a packaged item, okay? It's just going to be misleading. So if we're looking at fat, and it just has down, doesn't have many calories from fat, it just puts down 1.5 gram, we have to know how to figure that out. So if you're looking at that, 9 calories in 1 gram of fat. Now, sometimes people just round it up to 10 because it's easier, multiple. But so how many calories is that? You're taking 9 and a half of 9. So it's approximately what we can say 14 calories from fat. And we want, so if we took 1/5 of what their total calories in a cup of Special K, 1/5 of that would be 30 grams. And we are certainly under our 30 grams. So it is a low fat. And it doesn't surprise you because that's Special K is really promoted as healthful. We'll see about that, but a low fat. It was really started, as you can remember, advertising towards women. Okay. Sodium. We're trying to keep it no more than 150 milligrams of sodium. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio with the total calories. And you can see there is 220. It's not outrageous, but it is higher than, is higher than the 1-to-1 ratio. Fiber. Okay. It's another, it can be very confusing. We have, if you look at the total grams of carbohydrates, again, you're trying to get that 20%, but this time you're trying to get that 20% at least. So if we looked at that, we said 20% of the 33 grams would be what? Around 7 grams of fiber. And if we look and see, we have 3 grams of fiber, actual 3 grams of fiber. So it is a low fiber food. It's not into the higher fiber. 11 grams of added sugars, okay? That's, they used to, remember the old labeling, they just had to put total sugars. You don't know what was added, what's natural sugars. And now we look at the ingredients. And are there whole grains in here? And the first ingredient, yes, it's a whole grain wheat. So there are some whole grains in it. Are there saturated fats, tropical oils? Don't see that. Is sugar in the first 3 ingredients, the third ingredient? So we know those, where that 11 grams comes from. Thumbs up or thumbs down? I would not. It's the really high sugar. So for me, it's thumbs down. Okay, so now let's go into tortillas, because oftentimes people grab the flour tortillas, and you can see that our serving size is 2 of them. Okay, we want to look at our total fat is 4.5 grams. Again, they just give the grams. So if we have to do that, if we want to keep our fat calories no more than 20% of our total calories, so we're probably looking at what, 30 grams, no more than, 30 calories from fat. And what we actually have is about 40 calories from fat from the 150. So it's not, it's over, but it's not, extensive amount of fat. You will see, but that is going to be saturated fat, but sodium. So we want to try to keep 150 calories. So we want to try to keep that sodium level at no more than 150. And yeah, it's 280. So almost twice what we would like. Fiber, we have 24 grams of fiber. Of carbohydrates, how many of that is from fiber? And you can tell just by looking at it. We would want about 5 grams or more fiber, and it's very low fiber. It's 1 gram of fiber. Added sugars? Nope. And we look at the ingredients. Are there any whole grains? No, it's enriched flour. It has wheat flour, but doesn't specify a whole grain wheat flour. And also look at the saturated fats in it, which are often used for cheaper products of the palm oil, the oils. It says palm, canola, or soybean oil, but palm, as we know, high in saturation. And is sugar in the first 3 ingredients? No, but this is what I want to show you, because I had to look this up myself. Why would it have glycerin in this thing? It is, and I looked it up, and that is an additive to help retain moisture that you're going to find in many bread products. Okay. And then I had to look up the fumaric acid, and that is an additive to keep food stable and add some tartness. And then I had to look up the mono and diglycerides. And those are emulsifiers to help oil and the water blend. So for what it's worth, there you go. Okay, so we've got to do together. I'm going to have, I think, 4 different burgers, because that's one of the most highly, on a plant-based diet, things that people buy in freezers is veggie burgers. But with this one, let's do this one together. So this is Boca, long-time type of vegetarian or vegan burger. This is the original Boca, and it is 1 burger for 70 calories. Calories from fat is 10. So we know that if we wanted to keep it, is a low fat. It's under the 14, the 20%, which would be about 14 calories from fat. The sodium, look at the sodium. Oh my heavens. We would want, if it's 70 calories, we would want to keep the sodium around 70 milligrams. It's 450. Extremely high in sodium. And you will, of course, not used to it, will taste it. 6 grams of carbohydrates. And if with those 6 grams, we would run, maybe some we want some fiber in it. So around 12, and it is 6 grams. I'm sorry, I'm looking here at the other one. The 6 grams are actually, there's 4 grams of fiber. Okay. It's the reason I'm a little distracted, because it's really starting to storm here. I'm looking out the window. I'm seeing things blowing. No added sugars. Okay, now let's look at the ingredients, because this was an eye-opener for me. Water is the first ingredient. No wonder it's so low calorie. Okay. Soy protein concentrate, which you're going to find a lot in burgers, in sports bars, snack bars. That again, methyl cellulose, corn oil, caramel color. So when you are having a concentrate, a soy protein concentrate, this is a highly processed. They're taking out the fiber, taking out the fat, but it is it's not using the whole soybean when they make these Boca burgers. And the methyl cellulose is a thickener and emulsifier, but it's also used in lots of laxatives, which I didn't know till I looked all this up, okay? This is the caramel color. It's in so many products, so many sauces that you prepare, that you buy bottles of sauces, burgers. It is artificial. And if you look it up on nutritionfacts.org, it's potentially a carcinogen, the chemical in caramel colors. So, you know, I would suggest trying to stay away from those artificial coloring. And the malt, we know malt is a grain, so they extract it to make a type of sugar, a sweetener, is what that is. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. This is an example, and then I'm going to take some questions maybe before we, probably a good idea. I'm going to put up, we're going to do bread products. I have 3 of those. I have 4 different other veggie burgers. It's easy to find. Some cereal and some couple snacks. I don't know if we'll get around to all of this, but I want you to have the fun time of trying to figure out if you would buy this or not. So what you're going to do is what you're going to take, I'm going to have this chart up there. You're going to look at the serving size, you know, and you're going to say, oh, this serving size is 2 bars. Is it under 20% of the calories from fat in the kind breakfast bars? The answer is no. 20% of the calories would be 44. But they have 70 fat calories here. So it is higher than this guideline allows. It is, though, the sodium's 30 milligrams. So it is a low sodium because we would want the sodium under 220 milligrams. So it is a low sodium. There are whole grains in it. Oats, millet, buckwheat, amaranth, quinoa. But there is not, if you look at, there are 5 grams of fiber. If we would say, is it a high fiber food? No. Okay, but it's close. 20% of the 33 total carbohydrates would be around 6.6 grams, and they have 5. So it's certainly not a low fiber, but it's not a high fiber. Have we avoided the oils? No. There are 5 grams of saturated, 0.5 grams, I'm sorry, of saturated fat. So there is some oils, as you can see in there. The sugar is second ingredient. So that can be disheartening. And also the honey is another sweetener in there. The raisin paste is a sweetener, but it is a natural sweetener. So I'm going to stop here and see if there's any chat questions regarding fats. Somebody asked me. So you want, of your serving, you want to look at under 20% of the calories coming from a fat source. So if you have a 200 calorie, if you think of that, I take 10%, which is 20 times 2 is 40. You want no more than 40 calories from fat. This kind breakfast bar is being kind to you in that it actually shows you the calories from fat. You don't have to figure it out by grams. But as I showed you earlier, some, not all labels are that kind. Hershey's bought this, I think it was 2 years ago, this brand to try to market healthy snacks, which I guess it is healthier than chocolate, but it's interesting. Okay, so here we go. So these are the package, and let us begin. This first one is from Trader Joe's. I get there infrequently, but I course, like it a lot. And I know some of you here in the don't have a Trader Joe's. So this is just a corn tortilla. So if you want to just look at this and put in the chat room, yes or no, would you buy this? And just show others. Yes. Thank you, Rochelle. Yes. 3 ingredients, Janice says. Yes. It is. It's a great product. And that's why when I go to Trader Joe's, I put a bunch of them in my basket and freeze them. Yes.
So how about I'm concentrating on the carbs too. How do you calculate the percent? You divide 23 by the total grams? Or
okay, so that's calories? The one thing. Okay, so let's look at that. You would have, there are 23 grams of carbohydrates.
Total.
And to be a high fiber, you would need about 1/5 of those grams, 20% of them coming from fiber. Okay.
No, Sally, I want total carbohydrate. Let me see if I'm doing this right. So there's 23 grams of carbohydrate because I'm concerned with carbs, you know, being diabetic. I mean, I want to concentrate on carbs, okay? So 23 grams divide by, how are you doing your total carbs? And then is it the grams?
I was looking at the fiber because being diabetic, you want that
to be
complex carb. You want the fiber.
Yeah, I know. So you have 2 grams, and you're dividing it by what? The grams, or you multiplying it just like fat with the calorie content? What were you doing?
No, you're looking at grams. For fiber, okay. We're looking at grams.
So you have 2 grams of dietary fiber, and you're dividing it with the total what? 52 grams?
No, 23 grams divided by that 20%. Okay. So you want, by looking at the number 4 on those instructions, 20% of fiber for total carbohydrates per serving.
20% grams fiber, is that what you're saying?
Yes. And as Rochelle had some comments here that, you know, that, oh no, I'm sorry, Ro has some comments that you don't need to worry about carbs if you stay in a whole food plant-based diet. And I like Marcia Berlin is saying, I like the ingredients, white corn, water, and lime. Yes, and Rebecca said yes. 23, the amount of carbs, you times 0.20, and you'll get how many grams of fiber you're trying to get in your diet for when you're eating 2 of these tortillas. We'll do some more, Lulu, move on. Okay. So now I decided to go with a cauliflower pizza crust because we see so many of them out and about. So the serving size here, well, let me just step back. That's right. I'm going to close my mouth and ask you, take a look, take a moment and look at these 6 things that are up there. So someone immediately said, oh, interesting, look at the sodium. Rose is high sodium. Yeah, so we have 80 calories. This is a fourth of the crust. So it seems to me like a lot, though I haven't seen this in person. But you're right. It's, if we wanted to look at the sodium, we would want 80 milligrams of sodium also. Mm-hmm. So, you know, would you buy it? It does have some oil in it too. Some say no. And yeah. But the grams of fat is not, you know, if you're completely avoiding oil, yes. But if you're looking at the grams of fat, it would be 9. So it is a low fat. 9 calories per that 80 calories. Okay, I might buy it. Okay, I'm just going to throw in a maybe there. Okay, it all really depends on how, you know, stringent you are and how, what kind of alteration.
So you're,
yes.
Excuse me. So in here, when it comes, I'm really concentrating on fiber and carbohydrates. So you're focusing on 20% fiber for total carbohydrates. You don't care how many carbs there are.
Correct.
So you just care about the amount of
fiber.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Because it's just expelling from your body. You're not absorbing it.
Okay. Now let's go on to has anybody had this? This is at Aldi's, but I've noticed other grocery stores have similar ones.
What is that? I used this. It's very expensive.
You used it? Okay.
Yeah, they have
Simply
it all.
Nature.
It's very expensive. So, 0
look
grams
at that.
fat.
Look at the 6 ingredients.
6 ingredients.
I mean, I'm sorry, the 6 guidelines. And I'm just curious, yes or no? Fiber is good, Rose. Absolutely. Yes, looks pretty good. Yes. Yes, yeah. I do buy it.
It's very expensive.
I agree. It's expensive, but hey, my health is worth. I save on not buying all that meat and.
Yeah, I buy this too. Mm-hmm.
Though I bought another kind last time I was there. They didn't have this. It's also very good. Yeah. So you're right. Someone is saying yes, there is 1 gram of sweetener in there. I know honey and something else. The molasses is almost at the end. But it's, you know, fits the guidelines with the sodium, no fat in it. It has some fiber in it for 70 calories. And then the fiber, it has, you know, fairly good fiber.
Okay, can I ask you a question? So
yes.
That breakdown of total carbohydrate is 13 grams. Dietary fiber is 2 grams. Sugars is 1 gram. And then there's indentation for added sugars. That's different from the sugars?
Yes, because if they had in here, if they had total sugars being, if they had raisins in here, you're going to get some sugars from the raisins. But this is the added sugar is from the molasses and from the honey, unless molasses is vegan. And it does have, it's one of those sweeteners that has some nutritional value also.
So the sugars and added sugars are 2 different categories.
Sugars is the umbrella. Underneath that, they have added sugars. So you know, man, how many of those 1 gram of sugars is added? It's all of it.
It's all added sugar then?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Okay. Okay, here we go, burger time. Look at this. Look at the size of these ingredients. Not saying good or bad, just look at the amount. Morning stars. So would anybody buy this? No.
No. This is terrible.
Sodium. I know. Joyce said that.
God.
It's incredible.
Unbelievable.
So you have 1 burger, 170 calories, 450 milligrams of sodium.
And not only that, the fat is high.
Yeah, and the fat. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes. We are looking at that. Yes. That's so 45 of those 170. It's not outrageously high. You'll see more higher, but if we want to look at the amount of calories, it is 45 out of 170.
And then the sugar
are
too.
from the fat.
Oh my gosh.
Does it have fiber? Yes, of course. Black beans. And they have some good ingredients in here, but this is what worrisome to me. The soy, if you look down here, because burgers are often marketed for the protein, you look down here and it says, we talked about soy concentrate. Soy isolate is even more processed than the concentrate. And the more they process it, this is actually a higher protein content, which is why it's put in a lot of burgers and a lot of, sports bars. Yeah. So I do not like it. Okay. Well, we have to look for Amy's, which is always people equate this with health. And,
oh my
this is the veggie burger, California veggie burger, I'm sure. It's marketed, of course, soy-free, vegan, organic, which is a lot of things are organic, but we're not caring about that necessarily. So 1 patty. Oh, yeah, you got it. Already you're looking at the sodium. Isn't that incredible? 150 calories, 550 milligrams of sodium. No wonder we're walking around with high blood pressure all the time when we think we're eating healthful. Yeah. It is. You can see in there, it does have oil in it, but not a lot of oil. It's down in the list. But the saturated, there is some saturated oil, just about, what is it? So about 4.5, 5 calories from the saturated fat. 21 grams of total. If we took about a fifth, we'd want 4 grams of fiber. So it does have good fiber in it. And as you can see, Lulu, total sugars are 1 gram, but those sugars are coming from natural ingredients. They're not coming from added sugars. And that's why they have 0 underneath it.
You know what? The reason I'm so concerned about the fat is because of the fact that Neil Bernard, is that his name?
Yes.
He has he has this idea, it's probably backed by science, that there should be lower fat for diabetic. It's not just the carbs, it's the
fat is the key for diabetics, for type 2 diabetics. Fat is key.
Yeah, right. Yes. And that's why I'm focusing on this. And this is a no-no because it has.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm conscious about it. And then the carbs, it depends on the person. I do have to watch my carbs though.
Yeah. For everything else. Sodium certainly is taste. Mary said, why do they use oil? Oh yeah, because general public is used to oil, used to sodium. Yeah, because our taste buds are so different from the general public. Okay, I had to pull up a Dr. Prager. So this is, look at Dr. Prager here. He's a doctor.
Oh, I love that.
Burgers, huh?
I love that product, but I don't know how good it is.
Well, we'll find out. Okay.
Woo! I'm scared.
You're scared. Okay, uncover the eyes. Look at it. Yeah, would you buy this? So it's 230 calories for one burger. Okay. Again, I mean, what's startling, who is Dr. Prager? I don't know, but he's famous for his burgers, okay? 12 grams of fat, okay? And we know where that comes from, because if we look at the ingredients, avocado oil, people think avocados are so healthy. Oh, get the whole one versus the oil, the processed oil.
It's 47%
milligrams of sodium. Already, it's over twice as much. Yeah. So there are 10 grams of carb. And is it not fiber? Yeah, we have fiber because they're putting in, you know, like oat fiber in there. So they have added some fiber there.
They have 47%.
Again, it's the protein. They are marketing the protein. Yeah.
They're marketing the protein. Oh, 22 grams.
If you look at the front of a package, really, protein. It's amazing. Okay, now.
Canola oil.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add that. So when we're saying marketing the protein, you know, look at the recommended for average man is 50 to 60. So having one of these, or women 40 to 50, one burger, you're going to get half your protein. Or almost half, depending on it. But so yes, you can see there that, again, we're paying the wrong type of attention. Yes. Okay. Oh, this one I'm excited to bring to you because I bought it. Okay. I read an article 2 weeks ago for Medical News. They were saying different categories looking at store-bought veggie burgers. And they had one category is the best oil-free. And I said, whoa, I've got to look at this one. And I pulled it up and I actually bought it on Amazon to try it out. And 15%. You can see I just gave away the hint. Would you buy it or not? But you can see there's no oil in this. They have several different, this vegan burger has several different flavors. The Viva Italiano is the one they recommended. And it does have, as you can see, oats, pinto beans, green beans, brown rice, onion, has really nice ingredients. And the sodium isn't that high compared to the others. It's high, it's 190 milligrams. If you looked at our guidelines, 120, but compared to 500 and some, yeah. I know.
So what's the taste? So how does it taste?
The taste isn't, I like robust taste. So to me, when I had them, my daughter really liked them. She made it. You can look at how to make them. Very easy to make. If you like that, I would add and they say you can add extra. I would add extra spices. I like a spicier tasting burger. But it was, I think, $8 and something on Amazon. And it says it's supposed to make 9 burgers.
Just make your own.
Marilyn, you said about getting a bun that works. I know it's hard to get buns that have that nutritional component. I think Ezekiel makes it. Linda Jones, haven't you said you got it before? Ezekiel.
Where?
I don't know. Yes.
At the co-op.
Rose, hope you'll talk about nut milks. Okay, I'm not sure.
I'm hungry.
You mean the added fats in them, or how much fat?
Yeah, like cashew milk or almond milk.
Yes.
They tend to be high in fat. Like I'm noticing, I'm tracking my micronutrients in my diet right now, like very closely. And I'm noticing that when I consume more nut milks, I tend to have double the fat intake a day. And so I just want to know how I can get the benefits of nut milks without over consuming.
Well, let me recommend, first of all, Rose, why are you tracking micronutrients? Why would you do that? Is there something, a reason?
I have this app. It's called Lose It, and it's I'm trying to lose weight, and so I'm tracking my carbohydrates, calories. Sorry, I'm tracking my calories, but also I want to have a diet that's high in micronutrients, but low in calories. Does that make sense?
Rose, have you done a plant-based? I don't want to put you on the spot, but I am. But how long have you done plant-based eating, or are you just experimenting, or?
Yeah, I've been on it for about 2 years.
Okay. And has your weight fluctuated a lot, or? Oh, the time is. You know what, Rose? Email me, okay? And we could have a conversation. I just realized the time, and because I'm saying that because if you look at the optimal diet, if you're tracking your, you would probably want about 10% of your 10 to 15% of your total daily calories in fat. But
was that? Sorry, was that 10%?
Yes, about 10%. Yes, 10 to 15%. But but the reason I'm saying that is because if you're looking at like almond milk, it's only 40 grams, but you're looking at the nutritional aspect. Soy milk I know it's higher in fat, but you can look at other things like protein, fiber, and oat milk. There's a lot of beautiful oat milks too that are, if you're a little worried about your fat, but also you should be, I think, more of the processed foods, the pastas that if you're on a plant-based, and of course, the nuts that you want to keep those to no more than an ounce a day. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just going to move on. Okay, so sorry about
thank you. Yeah,
you, but we can have more of a conversation another time.
Sure.
Okay, so I have just a few things. Corn flakes. What kind of cereals? Do you like corn flakes? It is 80 calories, the low fat one for sure. And I hate when they have 21 grams. Oh my gosh. One container. It's one of those little like, it's in like, restaurant size. Do you know what I'm saying? But sugar is the second, but there's not that many ingredients. We could look at it that way. This is also what? Milled corn. I couldn't figure out what that word milled corn is. And I had to look it up. So in other words, a milled corn is they're taking the outside shell, they're removing some of the healthful fiber in it. They're grinding it down. So, and we said previously the malt flavor, it is from barley. Okay. Puffins. Puffins. These are often in health food stores. That's where I remember first seeing them. Multi-grain puffins. So it is 1 cup of puffins. It's 130 calories. What do you think? Would you have it? Yeah. Yeah, Joanne, you made a good point. Not much substance staying powder. Right. You don't have that complex carbs. No, no, no. Okay. So we would, if you look at it, there is some whole grains on them, sugar, 7 grams of added sugar. That was, no, and the caramel coloring again. So it's probably wise, just the fructo word is scary, okay? You're right about that. It's way too many syllables. I'm kind of sweetener. Okay. Aha. We just have what? 3 more slides. 2 more after this. But shredded wheat, sort of my go-to. You can see why. There's 1 ingredient, whole grain wheat. You know. So, and look at if you look at the 2 biscuits, it has the fat, but it's 1 gram fat. It's very low in the fat. It is what? The sodium. There's no sodium in it. Incredible. Carbohydrates there. Look at the carbohydrates, 41 grams. You'd want at least 8 grams. Yeah, it's almost up there. Dietary fiber is really good. Yeah, you could use it as a basis for a dessert bar, like shredded wheat. Okay. What would you do with that, Linda? And Trig, do you mean shredded on, put chocolate, drizzle chocolate on it?
I've mixed it with some oat milk and some other ingredients and some fruit or some raisins, and I patted it into a pan. That's just some of the ingredients, and baked it, made it into bars.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't use flour. It took the place of, what I would normally.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very interesting. Rose says, if it's not organic, wouldn't it have glyphosate? I don't know what that is, Ro. Okay, this is going to be an easy one, but I had to just show you because, again, all these blue corn, all these chips, vegetable chips, all these so-called healthy chips that are on the market now. 1 serving size is 6 chips. Most people won't stick to 6 chips. Okay, sometimes I have. So you can, just crunch it on, but Ro was saying non-organic. I thought you meant organic. Yes. Crazy amount, 6 chips. Yes. And you can see the fat calories because, well, sunflower, they almost all have sunflower olive oil on them with the salt. And that's a lot. So 54 of those calories are just oil you're putting in. Think of all that damage you're doing to your arteries. And it is a low sodium, though. Not a lot of sodium. Okay. And then the last one is the Larabar, which so many people recommend, and I did too. I keep it in my car. But it is speaking of a special, it's like a dessert bar if you look at it, that It's good to have on hand because it stores well. It's all dates, almonds, unsweetened cherries. Okay, and there are the fats there for the almonds, but you're not going to eat this all the time at every meal here because, you know, it is a high fat thing. So it is a good snack bar, and I love the cherry pie. There's some really good flavors. See if there's anything else I should be where you want to. $20 grams of sugar there, but no added sugars.
Can you review the fats again just one more time? I don't know why it won't stick in. Thank you.
So you have your total calories, they're 200. So you want no more than 20% or 1/5 of those calories coming from fat. So if you looked at what is 1/5 or 20% of 200, it'd be 40 calories maximum for fat. And if you look at that, 8 grams of fat, okay, and so it'd be 8 times 9 is 72. So it actually has 72 grams of fat from calories. 72 calories from fat, as opposed to, you know, if we looked at the guidelines, you'd want to keep it about 40 or below. Okay. As I said, these are just guidelines. So just to wrap up here, I will be sending you that what you see right now. I will be sending you this along with the recording and any natural sugar. Yes. Eleanor asked me, natural sugar, okay. Yes, but it's the abundance of, because natural sugars do have nutrients. It's the abundance of so much added sugar that we want to. Okay, thank you. I'm looking to see if there's any more.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many grams of fat should we be consuming a day?
Well, you know what? I can't answer that, Rose. I just look at, you could say that the standard American diet, that they are consuming, I believe the latest is about 40 grams of fat a day. I mean, 40% of their daily calories in fat. The Mediterranean diet is been touted because they do have a lower, it's like 30%, and I could get these numbers a little off, so excuse me. If you're looking at the T. Colin Campbell that he has looked at in his research, what optimum fat is, you look at your total calories and you just do around 10%. I did mine once when I wrote my book. I wrote it in mine because I like chocolate. It was up to 15%, but yeah, I am one of those, you know, I look for the lower fat items, lower fat diet, but I don't chart myself because mainly in a whole food plant-based diet, you can move away from the nutrients. You're getting all those nutrients, and you could drive yourself crazy trying to figure it out.
Could I ask you a question, Sally? For
yes.
a type 2 diabetic person, what was the recommendation of Neil Barnard in terms of the total fat in their diet? It's impossible to go zero, but
well, possible, yes, because you look, I mean, if you look at Esselstyn in his heart, he did diet, reversing heart disease, he's saying no nuts. you know, no oils, nothing, no. That's how you do it. You know, really, truly, for your heart health, it is. No fat, no added fats, really. It even says in nuts. I don't know, I'm looking across my room, my office here, because I have Neil Barnard's book. Don't you have it, Lulu?
No, I borrowed it. It wasn't as good as the video. The YouTube video was very compelling.
Okay.
I watched the video. It's very compelling, but the book is very spread out, not too focused, you know, for me anyway.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll look up and see if I can find that answer before, especially before you present at the end of the month.
I know it's 30 grams. I took all his classes in person.
Oh, really, Rose? Yeah. Thank you.
And he tells people like to look at different items. If it's less than 3 grams of fat, it's okay. That's how he does it.
Good.
Oh, this is 30 grams of fat per day. How about the carbs? Is he watching carbs too?
No, not even for diabetes, no. If you're on a whole food plant-based diet, you don't have to worry about the carbs, but you may want to keep things, you should look at the glycemic index.
Oh, glycemic index, yeah, you're right. He did emphasize glycemic index. And that's where I found out that rye bread is better than whole wheat. And whole wheat and white bread are the same GI. I was shocked. I was very shocked.
Yes. You want to go with the multi-grains, right? Did you look at that?
No. I have seen it at Aldi's, but I couldn't find the rye and pumpernickel.
Yeah, rye is a good one.
Yeah, they have the lowest GI. They're talking GI in here.
Okay.
I have a question about glycemic index. I always thought it was not to be addressed because you don't eat foods in isolation.
Really?
Because you don't, you know, when you eat something, there's different minerals and vitamins. So the glycemic index, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I read this somewhere that if you isolate each part of the food and you eat that way, but nobody eats that way in their diet.
Oh, really?
So an apple might have one glycemic index, but if you're eating an apple with oats, it won't have the same glycemic index. I don't know. That's what I thought. Does anybody else have any comments about that?
It's in his book, but I didn't read that part that well. Okay.
Now, Ro, do you, because you seem to have Barnard's program.
I know, like he says like no animal products first, keep the fat low, and then look at the glycemic index. That's if you have diabetes. So he kind of recommends you go more for a sweet potato than a white potato. You want to keep like white stuff out that makes your blood sugar go up. And I remember he said the 2 fruits that you should be careful are pineapple and watermelon if you have diabetes.
McDougall just sent out his last email. I just read the front of it where he was saying about people avoid, the starches, the complex carbs, because of their sugar will spike up. And he said, well, that they should spike because you're getting energy, you're getting that boost. So I remember Neil Barnard talking in Pittsburgh a few years ago, and he did address, because someone asked about the sugar spiking because there's complex carbohydrates. And he said, that's okay, it will even out. Just stick with it. He was very... Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. Does fat make you fat?
Well, another one, John McDougall said, the fats you eat are the fats you wear. However, where are you getting your fats from? Okay. So if you are want to lose weight, if you feel like you are on a whole food plant-based diet and you're still heavy and want to lose weight, you look at because there's a higher percentage, it's 9 of your calories if you're in a high fat. So in that case, you will look at, well, you know, where am I, how many nuts am I eating? You know, avocados, there's a high, look at those things. Am I eating tofu as opposed to black beans or legumes that are really low fat? And tofu and has a higher fat percentage. But also the other thing too is a lot of times people, it's like the processed bread foods and the processed pastas, that if you want to look at your serving size, let's put it that way.
Okay, thank you. So like, would you recommend people to drink not milks, or
you don't need to drink milk? In fact, get your calories from eating. If you're worried about, again, about your weight, you want to get your calories from eating your food and not drinking your food.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Sure. And you'll get that satiation, because that's really important. Oh, the other thing, Rose, too, is start your meal. This is another Jeff Novick. Start your meal with salad or soup. People who do that start eating with a soup or a salad tend to have lower overall calorie intake than those who just dig into that main dish.
Well, the thing is, I normally add not milk to coffee. That's where I consume most of it.
I do too. I add, yeah. So how much are you adding? Not a lot.
I would say a cup of nut milk a day.
You know, yeah. So if that's almond milk, I think 30 out of the 40 calories are fat calories. So that's not a lot. Really isn't.
I was told that 25 grams of fat a day is okay. 25.
What? 25 grams?
Yes.
I don't know where, yeah. Did someone in particular tell you, or?
I'm using this app that's told me so.
Yeah,
it's like the national average recommendation is 25.
25 grams or 25%? What is it?
25 grams.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that too high or too low, or?
Yeah, it depends on your size, how many, how much you eat. There's so much that it depends on that I can't even, I can't address it.
Okay, so you were saying 10% of your calories should be fat is okay. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, that's great.
Okay.
You'll lose weight, believe me.
So if my calories
throw in the bulk. The bulk comes with all these fruit, the veggies, beans, no fat beans. Get all that.
But in terms of protein, like you say get it from beans and legumes instead of nuts, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because you're getting protein in oatmeal, getting protein in broccoli. You're getting
low fat.
Yeah.
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 Okay, makes
sense. Don't worry about protein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we do some calculations, Sally? I don't know if I'm doing this correctly. Rose said 25 grams of fat a day is recommended. And if you multiply that by 9, that will be how much? 25 times 9 is 225 calories, correct? And if you are on, how many calories do you eat a day, Rose? 2,000, 3,000?
Well, now I'm trying to lose weight, so I'll cut it down to around 1,200.
Oh, wow. Okay, divided by 1,200.
That's really, wow.
Well, I just looked up and it says the dietary reference intake of fat should be 20% to 35% of the total calories from fat, which means 44 grams to 77 grams of fat per day if you eat 2,000 calories a day.
But that's 2,000. She's eating only.
So let's say she eats half of that, like only 1,000 calories. So it would be 22 grams to 35, 36, 37 grams of fat per day.
Yeah, I think she's still okay because I calculated divided by 1,200 because Rose, that's what you're eating. 18% is from fat. The recommended for vegan for plant-based is 10%, Sally. Isn't that right?
That is 80% of your daily calories from complex carbohydrates, 10% protein, 10% fat.
Yeah, so you're not really that over, Rose, you know?
No, that's the recommended, but I'm going over. I'm doing double.
Oh my gosh.
So that's why I wanna like, because of the nut milks, I realize I'm doing too many nut milks. Yeah, I think that's part of it. But also like eggs, because I'm plant-based, but I'm vegetarian, so I eat egg.
So you are, that puts a whole different spin on it, Rose. Yeah.
So there's fat in that. But egg whites is okay, right? If I take out the
okay, in which way?
Less fat than the yolk part.
Well, okay. Well, we're going into a therapy session here now. I will talk about we're talking about the most nutrition bang for your buck with your calories and staying at a healthy weight. Okay. So email me, go to Plant-Based Pittsburgh and push contact, or you'll see my email when I email you tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you all. This has been fun. If you have anything to add, just email me and I'll add it to the comments.
Will you be emailing the recording to people? Or?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'll email the recording also.
Okay, great. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sure thing.
Sally, I have to meet with you sometime.